Good morning, Sandhya ma'am. In this fast-moving world where nobody is having the time to stop and actually introspect about themselves or even look around at others, uh, we don't have a track over our emotions, and we are not able to identify when we are being overwhelmed or when to stop and take a break. In these situations, what can lead to a person actually becoming suicidal? Because this is something which is, I wouldn't say trending because it's not a good thing, but it is happening in almost all age groups and irrespective of what gender the person is of. So it is affecting everyone. So what can lead to a person becoming suicidal, and what is the best possible way that we can help them?
Yeah. This is definitely a question that is there for the current generation, current age. And you know what? The best part is it is not related to, it has nothing to do with success or failure. Becoming suicidal is not a, first of all, understand becoming suicidal is not a sudden occurrence. As I said, it is not linked to success or failure or even loneliness. There are different perspectives to it. While some may view it as an act of cowardice, if you look at it from the perspective of the person trying to commit that act, it simply happens when a person, as you rightly said, is overwhelmed by some unexplainable, deeper emotion. That emotion could be anything. Since it is unexplainable or mystifying, very often a person cannot comprehend. The person is not able to understand the sudden swelling of emotions. The level of emotions that takes a person to this state depends on the resilience of the person. However, even the most resilient persons can reach this stage due to lack of support or absence of people to share their emotional upheavals that the person is facing. It's almost like the person is trying to swim in the sea of emotions with one's hands and feet tied to various experiences. The stages that lead to the state often begin with an excitement, followed by a sincere intent to work hard and achieve one's goal, then keeping up a brave face while trying to swim through the turbulent emotions within one's own self without support, and finally struggling to float even when the going gets tough, and the gradual loss of mental and physical stamina. What happens is only vigilant people that are close to the person, having the ability to understand the emotions of the person, can see these stages. Now, mind you, I said vigilant people, not just close people. Why? Because even close people who may understand the person's goals and maybe helping the person to achieve uh, his or her goals might miss out on how the person is struggling to float and experiencing the loss of physical and mental stamina. This can happen when they're too occupied in planning and helping the person achieving the goal. This is because they're so focused on, let's name that person who's going through these turbulent emotions as, let's say, person X. So what happens is when the people close to him are too focused on seeing the person X's performance in the outside world, they fail to see within the heart of this person X. That is the reason they miss out on the cries for help by this person X, as these cries are within the person's heart, not outside. And this can happen uh, even with the most successful, popular, or loved people. One of the latest examples is Matthew Perry from Friends. There are too many to appreciate their performance and feel proud of their achievements. But there's hardly anyone to hold on to them tightly always, even when they're lost onto the crowd. It is therefore important to have someone whose camera is focused within the person's heart and not influenced by the events that are happening in the outside world. You know, it's almost like when I was thinking about this, it's almost like being that Yashoda Maya with a little Kanha. She sees only the little child in Kana and is concerned with his well-being, even when the world sees him as a divine child. So a person who has such a person, that is somebody like a Yashoda Maya, present in one's life, can never ever be driven to commit suicide. This is because the person is able to discuss the innermost feelings with uh, that person without being judged. So now, when I spoke about Yashoda Maya, a person like Yashoda Maya, this is a person that one can call as a mentor. This person uh, can, uh, when I was referring to Mr. X, Mr. X or Mrs. X, whatever, that X can show one's vulnerability or all weaknesses to the mentor. Now, it's important that the mentor is somebody who can be reached out at any time without any prior appointment. The mentor will always have the person as the highest priority. It's important to find such mentor, and in case you're able to find such mentor, hold on tight to that person. Every other precaution is important, but it is secondary to what I just said. The other precautions may include having a circle of go to close friends or family, meditation, exercising. Exercise is again a very good way of relieving one's, letting go of one's frustration. Working on staying grounded in moments or of success or failure. So that's that. These are, I think, the best ways of trying to protect oneself from such incidents. What do you think?
Like before you answered my question, I used to actually feel that suicide is an act of cowardice. Like, how can anybody even have that like that as a solution in their mind? But now I do feel that that person has been put through so much that there is no option other than to commit suicide for those people. And I do feel that there should be at least one person in everyone's life with whom they can be vulnerable, whom they can trust and not be made fun of in front of them, and who actually understands what they're going through. Nobody knows what it is to be us, like what is to be me, but somebody who can at least relate to it or actually put in the efforts to actually be in my shoes and understand what I might be going through. That one person we do need in our lives. And
Yes,
that person might pull us out of it in case we ever get into it. And
yes.
that is what I feel.
And the best part is, uh, it's not by having these thoughts coming to one's mind doesn't make one person weak or coward. Yes, it is a momentary weakness, but that doesn't mean that that person is weak. It is just that the person is overwhelmed by these emotions. Like, I am generally a very strong person, but I myself have gone through this stage. So that's the reason I know at such times we need somebody who can really understand the person within us. Even we may not be able to understand that. So having
Mhm.
such a person, and such a person essentially cannot be somebody who's very close family member also, because again, this person has to be able to see within us in a very, what to say, unbiased way.
Unbiased way, yes.
Got it? And that person should not be very attached to our passion, our dreams, because then
Hmm.
difficult for that person to understand the emotions that we are going through.
Hmm.
So and that's why I always say that a mentor should be somebody who understands life, who has gone through the experiences, who understands you, but at the same time, who is passionately detached with you. So
Hmm.
who loves you, but at the same time, who has the strength to pull you when required. And if you
Hmm.
get such a person, then you're the luckiest person ever. And if not, then you have to try to find ways and means to be able to reach out to other people when you are in those moods. It's absolutely okay to feel that way.
Yes, ma'am. I
Agreed?
agree. Yes, ma'am.